Welcome back. This is the Awaken 7 Day 3, and I'm so excited to be here. If you haven't seen the other two videos for Day 1 and 2, I will link them in this space somewhere on the screen for you. So my name is Rachel Graham, and I'm a registered nurse, and I created this workbook guide called the Awaken 7, and I created it because I got sober in 2019, and it can be very challenging when you get sober, and there's a lot of things, a lot of questions that come up and things that I think are important to work through. And so I created this document because I know that it can be like strange, uncomfortable, but also really powerful and beautiful in those initial days of sobriety when you stop numbing yourself and really start living. And it isn't about becoming perfect, and I will say that every single time. It's about waking up to the person that you really are and truly are on the inside. And so I'm glad you're here. I am going to be reading off of my laptop, so excuse me for my gaze deviating. So day 3 is titled "Boredom Isn't the Problem." So people say sobriety is boring, and I definitely felt this in the beginning, even though I had a lot of interests. Almost every activity I did centered around alcohol. So boredom isn't really the problem. I think it's like when the alcohol is gone, you feel like the activities aren't as exciting, or they're not as fun anymore. And that just takes a while for your brain to recalibrate because the dopamine levels are just all out of whack. So an activity that before only felt fun when you were drinking, when you remove that, it's not as enjoyable. It literally isn't. And that's just something that you have to trust and believe will come back over time once your brain starts to heal. So there's also a lot of like unclaimed time, and as a result, there's a lot of possibility. There's a lot of space. And if you look at your newly available time almost like a blank canvas, and that you have this like beautiful variety of paints, and you get to add a little bit of color here and a little bit of color there, and you get to start adding things in and really creating this amazing life for yourself. If you look at it that way versus looking around and being like, what the fuck do I do with my time? It can be actually really fun, and you get to create your own life. Like, you are the director of the script of the movie, and you are the main character of the movie of your life. And that's a very freeing and exciting feeling. So when alcohol occupies every weekend, every holiday, every evening in some cases, maybe it occupies all day for you. I don't know what it is for you, but it really leaves little time to ask deeper questions of yourself. There's just not the time. And maybe when you do have time, like say you're not drinking, you're probably not feeling so good. So you just kind of want to lay around, scroll on your phone, play video games, just waste time essentially. Or maybe you're just always needing to be surrounded by other people. So you're calling friends, saying, what are you doing? What are you up to? And you can't just chill, or maybe you're literally just sleeping. So the questions that you need to be asking are, what do I truly enjoy doing? What really energizes me when I think about it, and what kind of life? Like, zoom out and say, what kind of life am I really trying to build for myself? And maybe you've literally never stopped long enough to ask yourself these questions. And this is why I created this workbook, because these are questions that I want to ask myself, So maybe you've asked these questions a lot, but you've never done anything with the answers. So that's the other part. Both are normal. And when you do get sober, you're not magically just going to like have a ton of purpose. You're not magically going to be like, oh wow, I feel so awakened. This is my passion. This is my passion. These are my gifts that I want to share with the world. Maybe you don't want to share gifts with the world. Not everybody has to do that. I have a personal calling to share my gifts with the world and my message and the things that I've learned on my journey, in hopes that it will help you. If you are 10 steps behind me, my goal is to help you get to where I am faster. So whatever it is, I want you to be the person that actualizes the life that's inside of their head and actually has enough time to think about something. So here's the action step for day 3. When you catch yourself saying, I'm bored, replace it with, wait, I have space to build something. Okay? And now the next page, and this is what we do in every day of Awaken 7, is we have a reflection, and there's always 2 questions. So today, the 2 questions are, if my life felt deeply meaningful 5 years from now, what would be different? Okay. Second question, what is one dream, hobby, or goal I've been avoiding or waiting for the right time to start? Now this one is huge. I could talk all day about this. I'm trying to keep these videos like under 7 minutes, but I'll just tell you a little bit about me and my story in terms of waiting for the right time. So the real kicker, the real doozy, is that I never really thought I wanted my own biological child because I had 2 stepkids through my husband, and I was really actually content with that. I thought it was great being a stepmom. It's kind of like a fun auntie. You have shared custody with the biological mom, so you don't have the kids all the time, so you actually have a lot of time to live your own life, but then you still get to be a parent too, and you kind of get to do the fun stuff. When the kids come and see you, you feel like you really get to show them a good time, and it's not normal parenting. At least it wasn't from my perspective. So I was pretty much good on that. And then kind of out of nowhere, I decided, as the years went by, that I think I did want my own child. And that was very surprising. I really fought with that, because I had made my decision about that, or so I thought. So I finally decided that the right time to have a kid was when I was 35. And that so happened to be the year 2020. Literally found out I was pregnant in January of 2020. And then in March, that's when COVID shut down the entire world. March, April. So I thought that was pretty interesting. It was like, okay, God, I see what you're doing. It's like I waited for the right time to have a baby, because I had been thinking about it for about 5 years, but it was like, well, I don't have the career I want yet. Don't have enough money. We're not ready. We don't own a house yet. All the typical things you think you need to have a kid. No. I was in a marriage and a relationship. You don't even need that, but I had that, and I had a job. So it's like, what more do you need, right? And some people would disagree with that. They would say, you need like $30,000 in the bank. No, you don't. No, you don't. You'll figure it out. So I decided to have a kid, and the universe or God rewarded me with, it was a pandemic. So joke's on you. There's never a good time. That's the moral of the story. Never a good time. So what is it for you? What is the thing for you that you're like, when I lose weight, then I will start my YouTube channel. That's a big one for women. When I lose weight, then I'll do this. Then I'll sing in a band. That was always the thing for me. When I lose weight, then I'll try out for bands. No. There's people of all different shapes and sizes that do all of the things. That's not an excuse, and it's something that we just use to hold ourselves back. So before I get carried away talking about this, because this is obviously very near and dear to my heart, if you would like a real paper copy of this guide, in the description below, I have a link where you can download it, and then you can go ahead and print it. In the next week's video, I'm actually going to have my printed copy, and I will be showing you what that looks like, okay? So hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in day 4.